Hi, welcome to Café with Cavanha. Today we have with us Stephen Pickett. Stephen is CEO and President at Rignet, electrical engineer, MBA by Kellogg School. Today we are at Intelie Rignet new offices. Welcome, Stephen. Good morning.
Thank you, Armando. I'm very, very happy to be here. Tudo bem.
Tudo bem. Great. Your accent's perfect. Could you please tell us, Stephen, a little bit about Rignet, Intelie, and your experience?
Yes, I joined Rignet in May of 2016, and the company has a rich history. As a matter of fact, most of the history is related to the company providing communication services to energy companies. As a matter of fact, the company has been delivering those services for about 45 years.
Not only for oil and gas, for energy in general?
For energy in general. Okay. As a matter of fact, certainly a big part of the business is supporting oil and gas companies, but not just in the upstream market, also in the midstream market, where we've historically provided communication services to pipelines as well. So indeed, the company has about a 45-year history in delivering managed communication services. What that means to us is that we work with our customers to understand what their communication needs are, and we design specific networks to meet those needs. And then we go through the process of acquiring the equipment to build out the network, and we physically build the network and then operate the network on behalf of our customers. We do that in challenging environments, including offshore environments, by the way, onshore environments as well, but typically in remote areas. And we do that work around the world. As a matter of fact, we did business last year in just over 50 countries around the world.
50?
Yeah, so that's really part of the very rich history of the company. Starting in 2016, we identified an opportunity to do more for our customers. What we heard from our customers is that although they were quite satisfied with the communication services that we delivered to them, they had an interest in having a partner to help them move through their journey of digitizing their business. Mm-hmm. And so we've essentially, what we call, moved up the technology stack. And today we don't just provide communication services, although that still is the core of our business. We also provide specialized applications that help our customers run their businesses more efficiently and more safely. And we provide services that allow the networks to be protected from a cybersecurity point of view, and the data that's transmitted over those networks to be protected as well. Then, finally, we, as a result of our acquisition of Intelie just about a year ago, we are now providing real-time machine learning and artificial intelligence to our customers to even further enhance safety and operational effectiveness offshore. So that's a little bit of the history of Rignet and a bit of what we're doing today. Another line of business that we're in is a business that we call system integration, which is a business where even if we're not going to provide ongoing communication services, we might work with our customers to help design and implement networks, often related to large projects.
Great, thank you. And when you mention to be connected, or this kind of communication between rigs and fpsos, what does exactly it mean?
So we deliver communication services in actually a number of ways. And as I mentioned, our interest is to start working with customers by just understanding what their communication needs are. And then we design a very specific solution to meet those needs. And frankly, there are a variety of different ways. If I just focus on offshore energy for a moment, there are a number of ways to meet the communication needs of customers. There are lots of satellites circling the globe, and those satellites operate at different frequencies. And depending on the frequency, one satellite might be better at dealing with weather conditions than another. Different satellites operate in different spectrums, which might speak to the amount of bandwidth that can be delivered to a particular customer. So there are a variety of different satellite solutions that can be used to backhaul the data. But in addition to backhauling the data, we also build out the network infrastructure on the energy asset as well. And that can include Wi-Fi connectivity, fiber connectivity, copper connectivity, or even WiMAX or LTE
And
functionality.
what kind of data pass through these systems, these circuits?
It's a variety of different data. Certainly a lot of raw data that comes from sensors.
Seismic?
Seismic data is less likely to move through the network.
Okay.
Oftentimes those are very big files. So sometimes they go back and forth by way of helicopter. Yes, so through separate systems. But in terms of the day-to-day operation, data comes from sensors, from the equipment that's operating, things like blowout preventers.
For predictions and for...
That's right. Particularly, so we take that data and we use it and we analyze it in order to predict potential problems.
For instance, vibration, temperature, this kind of information.
Yes, and that information can help us, not only watch out for trouble that might be looming, but also make recommendations on preventive maintenance activities that would be logical to execute. But in terms of other data, there is data again from sensors and from equipment, but we also transmit voice traffic, and we also provide video traffic. As a matter of fact, entertainment is an important capability that we deliver offshore, so that people's off time when they're offshore is satisfying as it might be if they were at home. So voice, video, and data.
And does it include maybe the return of the information, the decisions from the office to the machines to stop something or to?
Yes. As a matter of fact, what we're essentially doing is connecting those offshore assets back to headquarters. So there could be a network operations center that's providing feedback on what to execute, when to execute it to those remote assets.
Interesting. Steve, do you think that we are in an intermediate process, worldwide speaking? I mean, surviving with both worlds, analogic and digital, and how long it will take this transformation of digitalization for the world? I mean.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I do think we're in an intermediate phase. And what we see in the marketplace is customers are in varying stages of their evolution to fully digitizing their business. And we've put together a set of assets that can be used in a bundle or as individual piece parts to help accelerate that journey, to help accelerate the process of digitizing. But certainly in some cases, we see customers that are much closer to the analog world, and other customers who are much more aggressively digitized their business. And we can help customers wherever they are in that journey truly get to a fully digitized operation.
You see which point we are, 10% or 9% in terms of digitalization?
I think it varies from place to place around the world, and it varies from energy company to energy company. But I think we're early in the journey. As an industry, I think we're early in the journey.
Stephen, talk a little bit about cybersecurity for us in terms of oil operations. Offshore oil operations, of course, is a very dangerous, sensitive process, offshore speaking. And what are the prescriptions for a company to cybersecurity protection?
Yeah, first of all, what we see is that energy companies are often targets of cyber attacks. In some cases, those can be rather immature actors just trying to get into a network. But unfortunately, in some cases, it can be very sophisticated state-level actors who are trying to access networks and access equipment. As a matter of fact, in the U.S., the Department of Homeland Security reports that 53% of all cyber attacks are directed toward energy companies. So indeed,
Why?
energy companies are
Is there
big
a
target.
specific reason?
I don't know specifically. Certainly.
But 30% is a very big number.
It's a remarkable number, and attacks are on the grid. Their attacks are on assets that are offshore, and typically those who are involved in cyber attacks are looking for the weakest link, and so it's important that we deliver solutions to our customers that can protect the entire network from an end-to-end point of view. Mm-hmm. And the cybersecurity is a very big field, and as a matter of fact, we have a very broad portfolio to provide protection for any type of attack that were to happen. One capability that we've brought to market is a capability through an acquisition that we did back in 2017 of a company called Cipher. So in terms of the solutions that Rignet has for our customers related to cybersecurity, we have a broad portfolio of products and services. And I'll give you just a flavor for a few of them. One set of services comes through the acquisition of Cipher that we closed on in early 2017. Cipher's services encrypt data. And it encrypts data in the most contemporary way and frankly in the most robust way. Many describe it as unassailable encryption, meaning that almost impervious to attack. It's a hardware-based solution rather than a software-based solution. And one of the reasons why that's a particularly good approach to encrypting data is that it uses far less overhead than software-based solutions. Most solutions today that are deployed are software-based, and they can add overhead to the network that could be as much as 20 to 42%, depending on the level of sophistication of the encryption. When we apply encryption using Cipher, the burden in terms of overhead is in the range of about 1%, so substantially less, which is important and quite meaningful, particularly when networks are remote, and therefore the amount of bandwidth that's delivered to those assets is much less than would otherwise be available if that asset were on land and served by a terrestrial network.
In your vision, cyber attacks are increasing or decreasing? Are being protected or?
All the data would suggest that the attacks are increasing. And I have a personal view that as an industry, as we further digitize, and we begin to take advantage of things like high throughput satellites that provide more bandwidth, and through the digitization process and through real-time machine learning, we connect more and more things. There will be an increased urgency around protecting those networks and protecting that data. So that's why we made the decision on behalf of our customers to go acquire Cipher and build out this cybersecurity capability. So our customers who relied on us for communication services as many years as they have can now rely on us to provide best-in-class cybersecurity services as well.
Stephen, and for the operational safety approach, I mean fire protection, accidents, and you have something special for that?
We do. As I mentioned, we have safety systems that we can deploy for our customers to help them deal with needs for things like fire suppression. But in addition to that, we have a service that we deliver to our customers that combines communication services with real-time machine learning. And specifically, this one service is a service where we deliver specialized badges to employees, and we use that to help track them.
Oh, interesting.
And then in the event that there were a problem, we can do things like identify the safest path to a muster point. If someone is in a dangerous area where they shouldn't be, we can identify that they're there and send up a flag that says, hey, this person has maybe inadvertently, ended up in a dangerous area where they don't have the appropriate training to be there.
And is a kind of tracking, person tracking?
It's a tracking, indeed, it's a badge that has tracking capabilities.
There's a chip in the...
That's right, yeah, there's a chip, and we track through that chip, in communication with that chip. We keep track of where people are, and we provide visually to people who are sitting at a screen information about where people are, and we can even provide verbal guidance to them through that intelligent badge to help them, again, in the event of an emergency, most effectively get to a safe zone.
And Steve, when you mention systems integration, what do you mean exactly with integration?
So today, when we deliver our managed communication service, we go through the process of designing a network and then physically deploying the network. Those are capabilities that we make available even if we're not going to provide ongoing communication services. There might be a terrestrial carrier who's more logically suited to deliver those services. But our customers, in some cases, still want to rely on our deep knowledge of their businesses and our knowledge of the challenges associated with building out a network for an oil company or a gas company. So they might ask us to come in, design that network, physically build out that network. And so that is our system integration business. So it's leveraging the core capabilities of the network to engineer, design, and deploy networks, but doing it even if we're not providing the ongoing communication services.
So you mean connected, integrated, and acted by the headquarters, some actions from headquarters to command some actions to the platform or to the rig?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent. Do you have, Steve, a roadmap for oil companies in terms of digitalization, communication?
We do, and as I mentioned earlier, we're now in a position to help our customers move through the journey of digitizing their business, regardless of where they are. And so we work with customers in customized ways, understand where they are today, identify opportunities to deploy sensors or different equipment that would allow them to pull data and drive operational improvement and safety improvements across their business.
Okay, is that a kind of gap analysis that you can make for
That's
clients?
Right. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Thank
Well
you.
said.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming.
Obrigado.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.